Imagine that behind every success, there's an unseen story. A story we rarely hear because it doesn't fit into the world of flashy photos, perfect posts, and motivational slogans. But in reality, these quiet struggles, the fresh starts, and overcoming failures are what shape true winners. In this video, we're going to dig deeper. I'll show you the true face of success. The part you don't see on Instagram, but which is an essential part of making every dream come true. If you've ever felt like there are too many difficulties, too much uncertainty, know that you are not alone. And even more importantly, that despite all of this, you are indeed capable of achieving what you want. Let's embark on this journey together. The real face of success often stays hidden behind social media pictures and success stories. But this hidden part is exactly what can teach the most to those who are trying to find their own way in the world. Behind what looks like easy success are years of hard work, many failures, sleepless nights, and personal struggles that no one ever talks about in public. The idea of overnight success is a myth that creates harmful false ideas in people and gives wrong expectations to those who are building their own success. Jeff Bezos put it well when he said that every instant success takes about 10 years, showing that amazing results always come from long-term dedication and sticking with it. Successful people actually face challenges every day that the outside world rarely sees. One of the biggest difficulties is that they constantly have to prove themselves to themselves and to others, while living with the constant possibility of failure. For example, entrepreneurs have a noticeably higher rate of depression, anxiety, and mental illness than the general population. A 2018 study showed that 30% of entrepreneurs struggle with depression, 29% with ADHD, while 12% struggle with various addictions. This statistic highlights that behind the outward signs of success, there are often serious inner struggles. All this also means that success is not just about financial results or external recognition, but also about the inner journey in which one learns to manage stress, uncertainty, and one's own limitations. True strength lies in being able to ask for help, accept support, and openly talk about one's difficulties because no one is perfect, and vulnerability is part of growth. It's important to know that successful people are also human. They make mistakes, struggle, sometimes fail, but they always get back up, learn, and move forward on their path. This perseverance, self-reflection, and courage are what truly make them inspiring to others. What society expects and what the media shows also put a lot of pressure on people who want to be successful. Social media can be especially bad because it shows a twisted reality where only the good things are seen, while the struggles, hard times, and real human experiences stay hidden. This is especially risky for young people who are trying to figure out who they are and how they feel about themselves, and tend to compare their own lives to what others carefully put online. Always comparing yourself can easily lead to not feeling good enough, worry, and the feeling of, "I'm not good enough," which can cause a lot of emotional stress over time. It's important to remember that behind the successes you see on social media, there are also failures, hard work, and personal struggles, just like in anyone else's life. Building a healthy self-image and setting realistic goals can help us not to follow what others expect, but to shape our idea of success based on our own values and growth. If we realize that everyone has their own story behind what they show, we can be more understanding with ourselves and others, and be braver in following our own path. The true nature of success is much more complex than what appears on the surface. Just like the iceberg metaphor shows, what you see is only a tiny piece of what's really underneath. The visible results, like wealth, fame, or recognition, are just the tip of the iceberg. But underneath, there's a huge amount of hard work, developing skills, learning from mistakes, building and keeping relationships, and the mental strength that helps you keep going, even when everything is against you. James Dyson's story is a great example of this. He made 5,127 failed prototypes before he finally created his first working vacuum cleaner. This took 15 years of work, during which his family struggled financially. His wife gave art lessons to make ends meet, while he worked hard to make his vision happen. We can see a similar pattern with Bill Gates. He faced failure early on with his first business, but that experience became the base for Microsoft's later success. On an international level, the Ferrero family business, the Ferrero Group, is also a perfect example of how much unseen work, perseverance, and continuous renewal lie behind world-renowned successes. Ferrero was founded in 1946 by Pietro Ferrero from a small Italian bakery, and despite the difficulties after the war, they were able to create something new. This is when the now legendary Nutella was born, which came about as a creative solution during a cocoa shortage. The family business built its now world-famous brands like Kinder, Ferrero Rocher, or Raffaello over generations, while having to adapt to economic, social, and market challenges in every era. The history of Ferrero clearly shows that lasting success requires not only talent and innovation, but also perseverance, family unity, and an unwavering commitment to quality, and that behind true achievements there is always that unseen work spanning generations which the outside world rarely sees. The daily routines and lifestyles of successful people also tell us a lot about the real challenges they face. Many of them wake up at dawn so they can think clearly at the start of the day, and they often have 12 to 16-hour work days. A globally known example of this is Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, who regularly wakes up at 4:30 in the morning to check emails and exercise right at the start of the day and prepare for the day's challenges. Cook's disciplined daily routine, which includes early rising, regular exercise, and long focused work days, clearly shows that lasting success requires not only professional knowledge, but also extraordinary self-discipline and perseverance. His example also proves that real achievements are always backed by conscious self-improvement, consistency, and a commitment to one's own physical and mental health. Finding a good work-life balance is also a really tough challenge for successful people. Business owners often have to choose between spending time with their family or working on their business, and it's rare to do both perfectly. Handling stress is a constant job, because being an entrepreneur naturally comes with a lot of uncertainty. Financial pressure, managing employees, not having enough support, and long work hours are all things that cause a lot of stress. The role of failures in achieving success is very important, yet it's something we don't talk about much in public. In many countries, society tends to look down on those who fail, which adds more pressure on people who are brave enough to start a business or try new things. While in some cultures, like in the United States or many countries in Western Europe, it's becoming more accepted that failure is a part of learning and growing. In many places, there's still a strong feeling of shame, and few people get a second chance. This way of thinking makes it hard for people to talk openly about their mistakes, or to bravely start over if something doesn't work out the first time. But the biggest new ideas and breakthroughs often come from the lessons learned from failures. That's why it's important for society to support learning from mistakes and giving people a chance to start over. The psychological parts of performance motivation are also important for understanding success. Research shows that two different motivations drive people: the desire to succeed and the wish to avoid failure. People with low performance motivation tend to pick tasks that are either very easy or very hard, but those who are highly motivated prefer challenges that are just right, not too easy and not too hard. This is where they can learn the most. Performance motivation is closely tied to whether someone feels they are in control of their own life, or if outside forces control them. Those who believe their own efforts affect outcomes are usually more persistent and successful than those who blame outside circumstances. People who focus on success often set clear, measurable, and achievable goals for themselves. These goals help them stay motivated and give them regular feedback on their progress. However, people who focus on avoiding failure tend to choose safer, less risky paths. In the long run, this can stop them from growing and coming up with new ideas. The most growth and happiness can be found when we see challenges as chances to grow and mistakes as opportunities to learn. We should also always look at our own progress, our strengths, and areas where we can improve. In the case of family businesses, there's an added layer of complexity because not only business but also emotional and family factors influence decisions. On an international level, one of the most well-known examples of this is the Ford Motor Company, which Henry Ford founded in 1903 and has remained under family control ever since. For the Ford family, generational change has always been a significant challenge. Every new leader had to ensure not only business success, but also carry on the family legacy and the brand's values. Bill Ford, the current executive chairman, has repeatedly emphasized that he feels a huge responsibility in representing both the family name and the future of the company. Because for family members, Ford is not just a workplace or a business, but also a part of their identity. This dual pressure clearly shows how important conscious succession planning is, building trust between generations, and finding a balance between traditions and innovation for a family business to remain successful in the long run. The situation for women entrepreneurs around the world is even more complex and comes with many unique challenges. While the number of businesses owned or led by women has steadily grown in recent years, getting money, a lack of support programs, and societal stereotypes and biases still create big problems. Many women entrepreneurs find it harder to make business connections, are often not taken seriously, and don't have access to specific training or mentoring. Also, finding a good balance between work and personal life is a particularly big challenge, because women often have more family and household duties. However, more and more international organizations and programs like Visa She's Next, Cartier Women's Initiative or the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative offer mentoring, training, and financial support, which help women succeed in business and reduce differences between genders. The ability to restart is perhaps the most important skill successful people develop within themselves. On an international level, J.K. Rowling's story is one of the most well-known examples of this. Before she became a world-famous writer, she was unemployed, living as a single mother, and numerous publishers rejected her Harry Potter manuscript. However, Rowling did not give up. Instead, learning from every rejection and difficulty, she kept trying again and again until she finally achieved her dreams. Her story also highlights that the biggest challenges and failures often hide the greatest opportunities for growth, and that perseverance, flexibility, and the ability to restart are essential for long-term success. As the tech industry grew, new kinds of challenges popped up for successful people. For example, reality TV and influencer culture created a totally new setting where success and fame seem to come faster. But really, it takes just as much hard work and sticking with it as any other field. Rachel Riley, a reality TV star, points out that being a reality TV star is a 24/7 job. It needs you to always be there and stay relevant. In the online world, always making new content, talking with your audience, and building your personal brand puts a lot of pressure on people. This is because people's attention can quickly move to something else, and the competition is very tough. Influencers and digital content creators not only need to be creative, but they also have to constantly adjust to changes in algorithms, trends, and platforms. The constant visibility and the demands of social media can be mentally tiring. At the same time, to keep up success, it's really important to be real, consistent, and always improving yourself. This world might look shiny from the outside, but underneath, there's a lot of hard work, stress, and uncertainty that only a few people see. The role of support systems and mentors is also key to achieving success, even though this background often stays hidden. Successful people almost always have a supportive community behind them, whether it's family, friends, business partners, or mentors who help them through tough times. However, this support network rarely gets the spotlight, even though it often makes it possible for someone to survive the hardest times and continue their journey. Mentors not only provide professional advice but also contribute to growth through personal example, helping to learn from mistakes and offering new perspectives for solving problems. A good mentor or supportive community can build confidence, motivate to continue, and help to see failures not as an end, but as a learning opportunity. In addition, the social capital that such a network provides often leads to new opportunities, partnerships, or even market breakthroughs. That's why successful people, almost without exception, emphasize how important it was for them that they were never completely alone on their journey. The financial truth is often different from what people see from the outside. Many successful business owners live with uncertainty for years, putting all their money into their company and taking on personal guarantees. Cash flow problems, payment difficulties, and ongoing funding challenges are real issues that every business owner deals with, but they rarely talk about them publicly. Late payments from customers, high operating costs, or unexpected expenses can easily upset a business's financial balance and can even put the most promising companies at risk. Most new businesses don't have much savings, so a tough period or an unexpected event can pose a serious threat to their survival. That's why successful business owners focus not only on growing but also on financial planning, building savings, and carefully managing risks. Because the key to lasting success is creating a strong financial base, not just big revenue growth. Keeping up your health and mental well-being is a really big challenge, especially for those who work very hard to reach their goals. Burnout, worry, and sadness often come with working too hard, and many successful people only realize later how important it would have been to take better care of themselves. Experts say that taking care of your mental health is not a luxury, but a basic need for every business owner. It's just as important to keep your body healthy too. Regular exercise, enough sleep, and eating well not only make you perform better, but also help reduce stress and keep your energy up. Successful business owners often include sports, relaxation methods, or even short breaks in their daily routine to keep their body and mind balanced. In the long run, the key to lasting performance and being creative is not to forget about your own health while chasing your goals. Because even the biggest achievements can only be truly enjoyed if you feel good about yourself. So, taking care of your health on purpose is not just a personal thing, but also good for business. Finding true success and happiness means we have to accept that there is no perfect path. Every path is full of challenges, and behind every successful person are invisible struggles. The key is not to avoid these difficulties, but to learn how to handle them, and to understand that these challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth and development. The most successful people are those who were able to turn their negative experiences into positive energy and use them as building blocks to build their future. Remember, success is never born overnight. Behind every great achievement are years of hard work, failures, fresh starts, and learning. When you face difficulties, know that these moments truly shape you, and every problem solved brings you closer to your goals. Let challenges inspire you, not hold you back, because growth always begins outside your comfort zone. Believe in yourself, be persistent, and know that the greatest successes belong to those who bravely face difficulties and never give up on their dreams. You've now seen the full picture. Behind every success, there's always the unseen struggle, the persistence, the courage to start over. The only question now is, are you ready to take the next step for your own dreams? Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it won't come on its own. Start now, build your own story, and become who you want to be. If this video inspired you, subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and share it with someone who could also use some encouragement. Together we learn, grow, and step out of our comfort zones, because that's where true growth begins. It's your turn.